Blessed Uprising family, greetings from the Culture Corner. Welcome to episode, I think we're on episode 4 of the Blessed Love podcast with Igu and Yemi and myself, Tanya. This week we are going to talk about a movie called the Celestine Prophecy. So yesterday we were here, Ma, and we was watching something on YouTube, a podcast that you had watched yesterday morning, as a matter of fact, because we was actually still trying to figure out what we was going to talk about today. And so we was watching whatever, and jotting down some things, and we got into a conversation, and you were speaking, and then you mentioned how something, it reminded you of the movie.
Yeah, because what it was the one of the speakers on the podcast, she brought forward the movie. And
she said it?
Yeah, she was trying to,
okay.
That's how come I even remembered it.
Okay.
And I was like, oh yes. Yes, and she was explaining to the other gentleman in the podcast how spirituality works and how it, how you can see it and how that movie gave a picture,
right,
so to speak, of how spirituality works.
Okay, right. Okay, so that was it. That's what you were saying. So then I said, oh, I didn't see that movie. I said, let me try to go see that movie because, of course, that's the thing that we like to talk about, or we like to discuss, or share information on. So went home yesterday evening. I tried to find it on YouTube. Not available on YouTube. I looked on Amazon Prime. Not available. It was like I could put it on my watch list, and I was like, watch list? I said, dang, okay. And so I went to my little handy dandy Secret Squirrel app.
Amazon.
My Secret Squirrel app, and boom, so it came up. So I watched the movie last night, and I thought it was awesome. It was really good.
Yeah, it was.
You can listen to the audiobook on YouTube, but that's like 9 hours long. So, that's, some good listening for some days or some time, however long it take you to get through 9 hours.
Yeah, you were saying it came out in
2006.
Right.
With the movie.
Right.
But you read the book.
Yeah, I read the book before the movie came out. But then it came out again not too long ago.
Really?
Yeah, it did.
Like the same movie or
the
something
same
different?
movie?
Okay.
The same movie. They brought it back, So maybe some people have seen it on the second go around.
Okay. Right. So this is we're basically going to talk about the 9 insights.
In the movie.
Movie. And the insights is basically, I guess you could say like steps. What you call steps? Steps, or maybe a path, or
it's basically
maybe like
a way.
Milestones.
It's a way.
Right.
Because if I can say this,
yeah.
Right. In my book, when I wrote my book, I have 9, in steps.
But 9 is your number. 9
is my number also. But those were, I call them the work. The work. This is what you have to do. So I gave those 9 things that should manifest in your life, when you're on your path.
All right. So Mommy had the work.
The work.
Why do you want to say the word? The Celestine Prophecy had 9 insights. Right. So as I was watching the movie last night, I was writing down the insights as they were coming, in the movie. You know, so a lot of pause and go, stop and go writing. And so the very first thing that came up, though, before the movie even started, was this. I guess you can call it a quote. You know, and it says, "Look not from the mind, but from the soul, for the life that is coming is already before us, waiting to open up the world. Just look more closely, find the eyes to see."
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Mom?
What do I think about that? I mean, again, he's talking right there that is talking about what we don't see, you know, what we're not aware of. We use, you know, the word aware, not even seeing so much awareness, and awareness comes from your third eye, you know. So being aware is when you're seeing things that most likely is unseen to people that are not aware. So if you open your eyes, really you would see more than what you think the world is, or whatever the world entails. There is much more in the world for us to see and know if we become aware of it.
If we look, we pay attention.
I think, pay attention. I think that's what he was trying to say.
Yes, pay attention.
Yes, and that was one of our blessed uprising at the end, where I said, pay attention.
I think it was just the other day.
Yeah.
Just the other day. Yep. Definitely. And so that rolls into insight number one. So again, so at the end of the movie, I guess they get, so it rolled the 9 insights and I guess maybe the formal words, or, you know, insight 1, 2, 3, 4. But of course, I wrote it down as they were, you know, speaking it to the main character, John, in the movie. So insight 1, so is John is the main character in the movie, and he's the one that's kind of on the journey.
Yeah. Like in the Matrix. The one.
Mom.
Okay.
So how about you jump to that? Oh, okay. And there you go.
Okay.
And there you go. Just like Neo, the one. So he was on the journey from jump. You know, it was brought to him, and he went. You know, he didn't really know why. You know, the lady came and told him about the prophecy, and he was just like, okay, you know, I could dig it, you know, kind of like that. And so he went. And then everybody else in the movie was either helping him along the way, and then of course there was one person trying to, you know, the bad guy. There was the bad guy.
Always
that person. So John, they said, insight 1, when you realize that there is more to the world that meets the eye, moving us around for a reason, is there for everyone, but you have to notice.
You have to notice?
Yes, you have to notice.
Yeah, you have to be aware.
Yes.
Notice. Same.
Have to
same
notice,
thing.
have to be aware, because, you know, like, go ahead, Mom.
Yeah, what I could remember about the movie is that, because I saw it a long time ago, is that John was the main character.
That was his name.
He wasn't buying it to some extent. And yeah, he was kind of standoff from it. But for something within him was still moving him forward, even without him being aware.
Yep.
He had that, his spirit within him was still moving him forward, and he was just obeying what he was being told to do. Go here, go there, do this, do that.
And listening to everybody who basically, you know, who came across his path. It was like, when he met the Father Father Jose, he was like, you know, he started telling him about the prophecy, and then when the police came, Father Jose told him to run, and he was gone. He just started running, you know.
Right.
I mean, literally the same night he landed in Peru, because he went to Peru, you know, boom, he's already on the run, and he running. And then Will's the next person that came across his path while he was running. So Will was like, come this way, boom, and he went. So yes, even without him knowing, he was
moving.
He was moving.
Yes,
he was making the move.
right. Paying attention. The name of the man that came to him in his hotel room when he ran and he finally got
Will.
His name is Will.
Free will.
Will, exactly. Will is a very important. It's a name significant to having that willpower, will to do. You know, so that's what will came to him in person. The spiritual word will came to John, manifested in person. You know,
because he did. He went with. He was like, "Well, you should come with me," and then John was like, "Oh, well, you know, take me to the embassy." He was like, "Nah, it's too risky." Then he was like, "Wait, no." He said, "Take me back to my room." Will was like, "No." Then he was like, "Take me to the embassy." Will was like, "No, you should come with me." And John was like,
"Right,
okay." He was like, "I don't really want to." But he was like,
right.
Okay.
Yes, and that's willpower. Willpower, and you seeing that?
Will did it.
Yeah, Will.
Yes.
And we all need will.
And while they was writing, take him on.
No, I said we all need will.
Yeah.
To do anything.
Yeah.
You have to have that willpower to do it.
Do it and carry through.
And carry
to the
through.
end.
Yeah.
Yeah. And while they was riding, he was explaining the prophecy to him. And John was like, I don't get it. He said, he was telling him, you have to experience for yourself. He said, I can tell you, but you have to experience for yourself. That is really like the only way that you will get it.
That's my words. I always say, if I can speak of something, it's because I've experienced it. So there is nothing like an experience, and that is one of the things about walking that spiritual path. You will not find it in books. That's the time you walk with spirit, and you are experiencing things live and direct. You have to, that has to happen, or else you're not really learning.
It was so many instances in the movie where
synchronicities,
it had to happen to him. He had to go through
things.
it. Yes, for him to like catch on and be like, oh, okay. So that was Insight 1. I had a question too. Do you think
Number 2?
No, I had a question in reference to Insight 1. So Insight 1 said that there is more to the world that meets the eye. So my question was, do you think you can discover that there is more in the world, more than meets the eye, if you practice a religion, or do you think you have to come out of it?
You have to come out of it.
Yeah,
you have to come out of it, because
religion is such a box.
Yes, because religion is rigid. You do this, this. Spirituality is whatever is taking place in life out that isn't written down. That's life. That's spirit. That's where you find guidance. That's where you find. That's how then when you are experiencing life, and I was trying to remember how the Rasta men phrase it. But it'll come to me. It's like the way I'm walking through it. That's how they see it. How are you walking through it? You then, when you start walking through it with your own two eyes and your third eye, then you observe more, you see more, you understand more,
You feel more.
You feel
you take in more.
You take in more because
and you give out more.
Yes, and you just fresh out, and you're seeking and you're looking, but you're not looking, in solid places. You're just seeking, and it's like you're out there in no man's land.
In no man's land.
Yeah, you have to be in that no man's land.
Right.
Not really thinking about anything solid. So you'll find you'll bump into things. Things would run over you. All kinds of things would happen, and some good, some bad. But then you would begin to feel like, whoa, this happened because, you know what, if I didn't, if I could have, if, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I said to you at one point that you have to be conscious first. And then you become aware. When you're spiritually aware, see, because everything would line up. That's alignment. So as you are going through this journey of spirituality, you're on that path. That's where he was. He was on that path, the beginning stages to get it. So when you're on that path, then things happen. Like how things was happening. It was a movie, but it happens like that in life, quick. You got a dream. You wake up and something else is happening, and it's like, and you're wondering what is happening to your world,
Right.
But because you're conscious, because you have learned a lot of things, you had the knowledge, you read your Bible, you read some other book, you know about other things. So you would find that when, somebody told you this, some master said this to you. So when you start this journey now, you're not really alone. You with yourself, you with your spiritual self, you have tools that you can use, because when things happen to you now, you can cross-reference. Oh, I read that. I read that in a book. Oh, man, wow. You start seeing things now, and you're like, man.
Right.
That's about all you could say is, wow. Oh, wow. Those are your words.
That's what I did. Like, oh.
Yeah. Yes.
Because I had a whoa moment too when I was watching the movie, and I wrote it down. I was like, that's what it is. Yes. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so insight two now. And insight two was very simple. It said the world is about to change.
And that's where we are right now.
Right.
You see, the world is about to change, and that could be two things: your world or the world. Because the world is always changing.
Always changing.
Always changing. The universe,
has
everything
changed,
is always moving,
changed,
and it's
will
gonna change. Change. Period. So
it's you that gotta
in
move
reference
with it.
I would give that to his will. His will. He has to change what he sees. Like inside one, where you at? Inside three?
We on insight two.
Inside two.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, insight two. The world is about to change.
Yeah.
That's what Will told John.
Yeah, his will is about to change. That's because that's what happened. In order for him to know, see, hear, his will have to change. Everything has to be just different.
Can't be
for
the
him.
old John.
He can't be John anymore. He has to be the one, you know? So yes, his will.
Yeah, that was it. That was number 2. It was just I was like,
That.
okay.
Yeah. Right
That
now
ain't
the
the
world
truth.
is about to change
If
again.
That ain't the truth, and it's about to change again.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So, insight 3 and 4 went together. Right. So, insight 3. I'll read 3 and 4. So, then Will told John. It was either Will or Marjorie, because in the movie, Will took John out into the jungle in Peru, where there was a little community.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a lady named Marjorie was there, and I think Miguel, the only black guy in the movie.
Yeah. And I think he met somebody that he met on the plane coming in.
But he got captured.
No, I mean a female.
Oh, yes. He saw her. Yes. So first he seen.
Boy, I'm
It's coming back, Mom. So first that female was in a dream. I think John seen the female in a dream, and then he saw the female, Marjorie, and a little girl in this dream that he had. When he got off the plane, she was there.
Yes.
When Will took him to the community, she was there.
Right.
So, what were we saying? Something about?
No, you.
I was about to read. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, So I think either Will or Marjorie told him this: stop building ourselves up by taking energy from others. The source is inside, but you have to open up and believe the experience exists. That was insight number 3. And then insight number 4. Well, no. I'll do 4 later, but I'm going to read the scene that was happening that, related to this insight. So when they got to the community, Marjorie and John were walking, and then they saw, I don't even know the girl name. I didn't even write it down. So the girl, call her Sarah. So Sarah, right? So Marjorie tells John, go talk to her. So he goes to talk to her, and he's kind of just asking, hey, you want to get together later, So from Marjorie's perspective, she sees John's light, his aura, and then her aura. Hers is white, his is red. But as he's talking to her, his aura is just overpowering her, and she feels it. She's physically kind of moving back from John, and she's like, you don't have to be a player. She's taking it, in that perspective from him, even though he's not even really trying. He's trying to talk to her like, let's hang out, but not even in a real dominant way, like somebody at the club. You'd be like, oh man, leave me alone. But that's how she's taking it. She's literally like shriveling up, and her light is getting smaller, and his. And so.
Yeah, but his light was on red.
His light was red.
And once it's on red, it's only one thing. You can't, that's what I'm saying. Then it is what it is. If your light is on red, that's where you are. He's in that lower chakra. He's talking from there.
That was the lower chakra, red. Ooh,
yes.
I didn't even think of that, Mom.
From there is where he was talking. And
I just knew it wasn't good. But I didn't think lower chakra.
Yeah. That's where the chakras come in, So when she felt it, she knew And that's why some men don't really get it sometimes, that women know where they're coming from. If a woman go
But
with
most
you,
of them be coming from that way anyway.
yes, and sometimes
Unfortunately.
if a woman go with you, it's because she wants to. It's not because you had something sweet and magic to say. You know, she probably wanted exactly what you wanted, you know, and that's it. You know, because she's right there with you, down there with that chakra, but she wasn't.
She wasn't.
You know, so
Yeah.
she felt that energy.
Oh yeah, yeah, dominating and
Yeah.
and she was gone, and so and so Marjorie came and told Will, and you know, Will, I mean John was like, you know, what happened? Like, man, I can't believe, you know, and then and that's when Marjorie told him, you know, he was trying to dominate her, and he was like, no, I wasn't. And she was like, yes, you was. And then she told him, I saw it. I saw your energy. And he was like, she did too. So then he was kind of looking like,
What she mean?
What's she talking
does
about?
right.
Right. But yeah, so that was the scene with the third insight, and I was just like, if that ain't every day, I don't know what is.
It's every day. And the thing about this movie, to some degree, I think everybody should see it. You know, because it allows you to see energetics. It, you know, before people can talk about it and this and that and the other, but you don't get the action that makes it what it is, and the way you are operating. And that's why I always say spiritual is how you operate. People think it's how you talk or it's how you are operating, and
It's the whole vibe and
the podcast. Why she even came into the Celestine Prophecy to talk about it yesterday.
Some of the lady.
Yes. She was saying that not most, she said the same thing, not most, people don't check behaviors. We don't think about behavior. You know, that person is talking about, oh, well, peace and love, light, and you know, and all those things. And then the
Don't
behavior.
say it like that, Ma.
Yeah, well, and all those things. But it's like the pastor up on the pulpit preaching, and he's talking about all being good and this and, you know, all the other things that they say. And when he moves from there, he's going to go after one of the women, right? And then even though the people in the congregation would know what he's doing, because now his behavior, and that is
That's
what
his
we're
true
supposed
self.
to go by also. That person's behavior, not because pastor gave a good sermon this Sunday, makes him not who he is, you know? So I think that is where the energetics is saying, you know, that you must look at people's behavior, because they play it out. They play out the energy that they're about.
The Dalai Lama. Done deal.
The Dalai Lama, yeah,
Done deal.
It broke my heart. It broke my heart.
Broke my heart. Done deal. Don't you ever dolly your llama. Nothing. Nothing. I'm not trying to hear nothing ever.
And
again.
that's the problem. That's the problem. That's what she was saying.
Yeah.
So she was saying that, you know, also is something that people need to pay attention to people's behavior.
Yes. Yes. Kind of cleaned that one away. Right. Okay, so now insight 4 now. People battle for your energy. And this is what Will told John again. Because now, at this point, so John was in Peru to experience the prophecy. There was a guy, We're going to call him Pedro because I didn't even write his name down. So he was the bad guy. Pedro was the bad guy. He was there to destroy the prophecy. So it just so happens that Pedro's at the community too. And so Will sees John sees him.
No,
Oh.
it didn't just so happen.
Well, no, it didn't just so happen.
All
I'm
right.
just saying.
All right, yeah, but
he had the community too.
He is there for a reason and a purpose.
Oh, yeah.
Everything has a reason and a purpose.
Right.
No thing is, it so happened to be, it's happenstance. It's,
Right.
Yeah. If I run into you, trust me, it's for a reason.
It's for a reason.
You don't know what it is just yet.
Yeah.
But
Right.
it's a reason.
See, okay, ooh, boom. So that's it, Mom. So, yes, not just so happens, but he was at the community too. He was posing as an archaeologist, helping to look for the ninth scroll. So, when John first sees him, he's just like, he asked the father, he said, who's that? And he said, oh, that's Pedro. He's an archaeologist. He's going to help us find the ninth scroll. And he was like, you want to introduce? No, he said that to Miguel. And John was like, no, I'm good. So,
Because didn't John see him before? The night before? Outside.
yeah.
Right.
John saw
I am
him.
seeing this movie like
Now you
seeing it.
Now you see it.
It's so crazy. I'm seeing it. Okay, wow.
Yes, he saw John in the city of Peru. Basically, I don't want to say he was chasing him, but he gave the order to
Do something.
Right. I think he saw Pedro was the last person that saw the father Jose alive. So he already knows bad guys.
Right.
So he tells Miguel, he's like, no, I don't want to meet him. And so I think the next day they were moving out and John is walking and boom, Pedro comes in front of him. So Pedro's trying to feed him this story like, oh, no, first he asked him, well, what do you know about the prophecy? And then John told him, well, I don't know too much. I kind of just, got here, Then he was like, then Pedro's telling him, oh, well, you should come with me, we can, I don't know if can't remember if he was telling him, we could find it together or I can get you back to safety. I think is what he's trying to tell Will, back to the States. And so as Pedro is talking to John, he's like stealing John's energy. And Will is in the bushes, well, not in the bushes, he's kind of off. And so he kind of looks, but he stays, back and he's calling John's name. He's like, John, the name is, his voice is faint. So, John is like, but then here's Pedro still, and Pedro is purposely trying to dominate him to get him to come back, come with him. And so, John is getting kind of weak and he's like, So Pedro comes now, not Pedro, but Will comes. And so say this is so say you're John and this is Will, and then that's Pedro right there. So this is how he comes and saves John. So he comes and he puts his back to Pedro and he's whispering to John. He said, "Come on, John, let's go. Come on, John, let's go. Coming with me?" No. And then all he says, "You coming with me?" And then John is like, "Yeah, I gotta go." And so he leaves with Will. I was like, So people battle for your energy at all times is what he said.
Right.
And people do it knowingly and unknowingly. But Pedro was definitely knowing what he was doing.
Of course.
And John didn't know at the time.
No. Well, John was sent on a mission, of course. So he has his own natural powers, knowing about the insights and how to wield that power to make people do what he wants them to do. But what what is the lesson right there is that John's energy or frequency, he was vibrating low. So Pedro was able to overpower him. But who had to come and get him out? Well, his willpower. So willpower. So you, without will, you're gone. You're done. You will get sucked in, and that's the end. You know, then you're under somebody else's control. You know, so you gotta have that willpower. You know, so that is why I was saying to you, you can't go into certain, when you're a young spirit and you don't know certain things, you don't go into certain spaces, you know, that you don't feel powerful in. Because you can be led astray in that one moment. You know,
and sometimes you don't get to come back.
Sometimes you don't get to come back. So that's why, you know, when you're spiritually aware, you don't get caught in situations. You really don't. I've never seen that happen. You know, unless this is what you have to pass through to get to the other side. Then you will have to experience that situation.
Why? You be on it. Because I think, because after Will had pulled John away, he told John, you're going to have to handle that later. Pedro. He said, oh, he ain't going away. You're going to have to handle him later.
Yeah, he'll be back. They don't give up. They don't give up. They like to win.
Yep. That's what he told John. You're going to have to handle him later, but they had to go. Yeah. So, yeah, you definitely got to be aware of people just trying to dominate, steal your energy and dominate you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because after they take the energy, you don't have no power, you know?
Yes. Okay. So inside five. John is with Marjorie. So, and so I'm trying to figure out. Okay, let me not try to. Anyway, so John is with Marjorie. No. So they left. So inside five. Okay. So before inside five came, Marjorie had after John had the incident with
Pedro.
Sarah.
Oh yeah.
You know,
the girl. Yeah.
Yeah, his red energy overpowering hers. And she had took him, to the side and was like, hey, this is what you was doing. I saw your energy. And he was like, hey, really? I don't think I was doing that. And she was like, yeah, you were. You were. And so she gave him a couple of exercises. She had him put his fingers like this, and told him to focus. Did you tell him to look beyond or let it get a little hazy? Something to that effect. And he was able to see energy, the energy in between his two fingers. He was able to see that. And he was like, oh. And then she asked him to look at the flower bush that was, right in front of them. And she told him to focus, see it, see the beauty, and the tree lit up, and he saw the energy in the thing for a quick second, and then she explained about energy, opening up.
Yeah, we hope we hope, or would like for it to be that simple coming in.
Oh yeah.
It's a movie. right?
Yeah.
Right. So I'm just, I'm just touching on that because sometimes in movies we just think that that's just the way it is. That's the way it should be.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I did say to myself, man, I wish it was that easy.
Right. That's what I said too.
Certainly
so
said,
I know, right.
Man, I wish it was that easy.
Yeah. But the movie's just letting you know some of the things that can happen when you stay on the path and you work on yourself. And that's why I call it work. It's a job.
Right.
When you work on yourself, then you get to have these little gifts. Yeah. And then you get willpower. You get insight, you get vision, you get awareness. Right.
Okay, so Inside 5 is about opening up and finding your own energy. And it connects you to the one true source in the real world, how the world really is. And Will didn't tell him this. By this time, he's so what they was doing. So I think they was riding, and then the rebels had stopped them, and they had to run off into the woods or whatever. And they was chasing John, chasing John, and then John hit a cliff. And so, he looked and he was like, dang. And so the rebels was coming behind him, and he just knew he was gone. He was like, shoot. So he kind of just stood there and he was like, okay, well, I'm finna wait for these bullets, basically at the end of the day. But as he stood there, he looked out and he saw the landscape and the beauty and it lit up, and he had I don't want to call it an aha moment, but he had a moment. And it was like him and the earth or his surroundings became one. Then his light was white. Light was white. Guess who went right by him? The rebels. The rebels couldn't see him. Right. So the rebels went by, and then next he backed down, and he found the priest, right? The other priest guy.
And that is literally, actually, 100% true. It happens. True. It happens. That light will come and block you from anything that's gonna hurt you.
Yeah. They didn't see him, but he didn't even he know they walked by him, but he wasn't sure like why, because he was like, I'm standing right here.
And he just
so
walked past me.
They didn't see him.
Yep.
And so so the second priest that was with them, he asked him what happened, and he told him, he said he thought he was done, and he said he had to let go, and he said once he let go, he saw so deeply. He said he even saw the future. He's had a glimpse into the future, and I'm just like, ooh,
wow, yeah. But that happens. That happens. It's so real. It's so true. All you have to do is let go of the wheel, and I can say that again because, like I said, I don't say anything about anything unless I experienced it, and that was my experience. And what I did wasn't because I knew that I should let go of the wheel. I just knew that it was over for me. And I just went like this. In an accident, I just take my hands off the wheel and say, well, this, in a sense, well, this car is doing whatever it wants.
Right.
So I don't want, what was the point in me holding the wheel?
Right.
And as I released the wheel, that the car lit up in a light on the inside so bright. I couldn't see nothing else but the light. And the car moved. very quickly and slammed into the other side of the wall. And I just walked out of the car. You know, so like I said, if I didn't experience it, then I can't say, oh yeah, that happens. It do. Even Chris said he had an experience like that when the white light came in the car. So
When
white
he saved
light,
the person?
when he got in an accident with, I think Onika was in the car with him also. He had an accident. And he was like, Ma, I'm not kidding. The whole car was just white. I said, well, see, God got you. That's when you know he got you. You know? So, you know, guidance.
That's the truth. That's the truth. All right. Okay, so now insight 6 and 7 goes together as well. So the second priest. So this is after Will had, came down from the cliff, and my man, he taking the spark plugs out his motorcycle, he cleaning it and everything, And so he asked Will, what happened? And so that's when he told him about the opening up and whatnot. And then he said, insight 6 is, we are all part of the larger flow of the world's evolution. We are here to do something. And so John was like, I could dig it. That's how he was like, I could dig it, like, for real.
Yeah.
And so then insight 7 comes in, because then he asked them, well, how do I know what to do? And then he said, well, that's insight 7. How to know what to do is the 7th insight.
And I just think it will remain an insight. I don't think that's none of your business. You just
How
keep
to know
doing what I tell you to do.
Is the 7th
you ain't
insight.
supposed to know anything more than where you are right here. You stay right here. Stay in this present moment with what's happening right now. What's happening over there in 10 minutes from now, or hour from now, 2 days, 10 years. Don't worry about that.
Don't worry.
That's
about
not your business.
Don't worry about that.
No, because you're not going to know.
What? You're not
You're
going
not
to
going to know.
But you'll have a little.
You're going to have.
Maybe have a little thing.
Yes.
Because he told him, he said, you have to discover your guidance. And he said, because I think Will had told him about the dream he had. Yeah, so no, that's what he was telling. He was telling the priest guy as he was cleaning the spark plugs in his motorcycle. He had a dream, and then he told him what was in the dream. And so after John told him, he said, okay, well, dreams means something. So then that's when he said, how to know what to do is the 7th. You have to discover your guidance. And so he was kind of telling him, dreams and many other different things will be his guidance, and let him know what he's doing.
Yes.
What to do and how.
Right.
And how do you know what to do?
Right. And still you wouldn't know what to do. And that's why, that's the little trick to that.
Right.
Yes, you're going to get a dream, and your dream is going to, it'll tell you. The dream is telling you something.
It'll tell you something.
But you within yourself, when you look at the dream, because for some reason, the dream is always big.
Right.
Bigger than you.
Why is it always be complex though? It can't never.
That's what I'm saying. So how are you going to know? And then you had this dream, and then you have another dream, and then you other things are happening, and the space that you're in right now doesn't facilitate the dream. So you're not believing, you're not knowing.
There's no real
real
connection.
knowing. Yes. It's not
3D connection to it.
Yeah, because source see that you need to develop a lot more. So what's the sense telling you fully what you're gonna do, what you have to do, where you're going. No, be here in the moment. Learn that, understand that, get that. Because if you don't get this right here, you can't go up there and fulfill what I might need for you to do. So don't rush. And you're just not gonna know any old way. You didn't get there yet. Right. It's a dream. It's still a dream, but it's gonna be a dream until. So see that. Okay, you can fulfill it. Yo, go ahead now.
It could be real.
Yeah, now you could go ahead and do.
And so on Insight 7, this is when I had my epiphany. Yeah, my little epiphany thing. How to know what to do, right? When he told John, it'll be things that'll let you know what to do. I instantly thought of the deja vus that I have. Because I have them, I've been having them for forever and a day, and it'd be like, man, I did this already. And remember, I used to tell you, that's how I know I'm doing the right thing. I don't know what I'm doing or where I'm supposed to be going, but I know I'm on the right path because as I'm going along, as I'm on my journey, things happen and it's familiar to me. It's like I did it already. So I'm like, that's my guidance.
And that's, let's see if I can. That can be one or two things or both things mesh together. Because deja vu is because either it's happening in another timeline at the same time that you are doing what you... So it's going to feel familiar to you because who is actually doing it at that time, it's still you.
Right.
So they might be...
I'm so sorry, Mom.
Yeah, that you might be at a very tiny timeline before you see it and know it because you already knew it from another time. See that or you experience you say that's in another life. That's how you know you either have a past life. Sometimes it's a past life experience because you've done it before. So those, especially those, it truly lets you know that, wow, there is something in this world that you can't explain, but you understand it. You just understand it. You're not, you're not feeling any bad way about it. You're just like you say, yeah, I know I'm on the right path because you've done it before or you're doing it twice. So those are guidance. Continue. Yes. It's your guidance. If that's the way it comes to you, then it's your guidance. And that's why I always say to everybody, it's different. I will get guidance. I'm a outside, getter of guidance and things, and I would get my lessons, a book. I would turn on the TV, and just what I'm saying is going to be said, or just what I'm thinking, somebody's just going to say it. So then I know, okay. So then, all right,
I was right. Or I'm doing it right.
And then wait a minute. It's like duality. When I spoke about it, then I keep hearing it ringing, and it's like when you're about to buy a car. If you decide, I'm going to buy a Dodge Hellcat. I just want that car. No, you seen it in your sleep. You seen it as soon as you step outside. It have a Dodge Hellcat waiting for you every which way you go, or a red one, a black one, a green one. So you're like, you're in sync with this car. You may not get it, but boy, you can feel it. So you know that there is something, the universe is interacting with you. you know, and that's why you know it's saying in the first insight or the second, pay attention, or in your uprising. Pay attention because you're not aware of what you know. There's a lot going on right in front of your face in this world, in your world, and everything you need is right there. Even the Hellcat, if you know how to maneuver. If you know how to maneuver, if that's what you know, your heart desire.
Exactly. Yeah. So I was like, okay. Yep. All right. So now we're on to insight number 8. So, insight 8 was give energy all the time. No matter what, give energy. And basically, she was talking about love. So at this, the scene for this one, John had to go rescue Sarah. Oh, they have to go rescue. Anyway, John and Sarah was trying to get to this cottage that Miguel had in the woods. After they left the community, they was trying to get to this cottage in the middle of the jungle.
And I think they got separated.
They got separated.
And they captured her or something. No?
Yeah, they did capture her. They captured her.
Right.
And I think twice John had used his insight to get to her, because after the priest told him, you know, you there's guidance. You will be guided. He had to go find Marjorie. Not Marjorie, Sarah. So he got on the motorcycle, and the priest he found his way to the cottage, and then he was like, well, how am I going to get to the cottage? He said, no, how am I going to find Sarah? He said, don't worry, you'll find her.
Yeah.
So he went off on the bike, and he came to a fork in the road, look left, or right, look left, look right. So the light, you know, he concentrated, and so he went to the right, and he ended up getting caught, and he was like, dang, my intuition messed me up. Come to find out,
that's where he was being taken to her.
Right.
And that's what I said a minute ago, right?
Yes.
It's like, then if something does happen, then that's how it was supposed to happen. Because this is where you need to be to do what you set out to do in the first place.
Yes. Yes.
You know, it may seem dangerous, but this is where you have to be.
This is where you
in
gotta
the midst. In the midst of it. Because when we get there, you see what I'm saying? When you get there now, then we will handle the rest of it. You just worry about, you know, just right now. I say go here, you go there. You worry about getting there.
Yep.
You know, don't worry about when you get there, what's going to happen. And that's where your faith comes in. That's where your confidence comes in. That's where your willpower comes in. That's why you have to build that up like if it's a house. Like, you know, you got to build those things up like if it's a house, because those are the things that makes you lose your house. Somebody else will come and live in your space because you don't have the faith, the willpower, you know, the strength, the trust.
Yeah.
You know? So
In yourself.
in yourself.
In yourself.
In yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. So he got to Sarah, and then he had another insight. He was like, oh, we gonna get away. And that's what he told me. He said, oh, we gonna get out.
Yeah.
So then they ran, they escaped, they ran, and then it was, they came to a spot, and so she was like, just give me a minute, I can get us to the cabin. And he's like, so they're at another crossroad again. They can go that way and get to Brazil or somewhere else. So he's looking, he's like, man, let's just go. We can go this way and get back to America, this, that, and the other. And she's like, no, I can get us to the cottage or whatever. And he kind of, he's kind of like, I don't want to listen to you type thing. And then she was like, okay, leave me alone. I'll go on my own. And so she goes, and he follows her. And so then they get to the cottage. And so so they get into the house, and he's kind of apologizing for
Not trusting
her or whatever.
Yes.
And then she tells him about she was in relationships where she didn't trust herself, and she let the other person dominate her, lead, and this, that, and the other. And she said she wouldn't do it. She wouldn't get in that type of relationship again. And and then he said, dang, what did he say? Can't remember what he said, but I just thought it was. So then they started to. So they wanted to be together. He wanted to be with her, and she was like, I could be with you, but I feel like
he's not ready.
You ain't ready.
Yeah.
Yes. And so, but then she says, well, we could be together if, when it's time for me to lead, you let me lead. And when it's time for you to lead, I let you lead. And we compromise to work together. And, she said, whoever's the strongest at that time leads. No competition.
You're right.
Is what she said. And so, and then they was talking about building trust and love, and at the same time, and they was talking about inside 8 in a male and female relationship.
Exactly.
Will was out. I don't know, was he at the city or ruin? And it was him and the little girl that Will saw in his dream. And so, he's like sitting on top of something like this, and she's down, on a step. And if he moved, she moved, and so it was mocked. And so then he did her like this, and then the next time you see them, they're sitting right in front of each other, and they're sharing energy. Their energy is building and building and building, a nice orange color. So I don't know if they were, because I think they was talking about love, at the end of the day, period. So they were building energy with each other, and their energy force field was getting stronger. And then the same thing with John and Sarah. So inside 8 was to give energy all the time. No matter what, you give energy. If it's given, especially if it's being given to you, give it back, because it'll grow. And manifest and I guess maybe like a conquer all type thing, or will be the shield, or be your strength, or be your bond.
Yeah.
Or the bond, I should say. Be the bond.
Yeah. Well, that's what love does, and that's why the male and the female have to come as one. Because even right now, how Earth is right now, there is no feminine aspect in the whole godhood. She's there, but nobody acknowledges her. She has her power too. So does the masculine, the divine masculine. The divine feminine, they both have to come together equally. One cannot overpower the other, you know? And that's why earth is like this. Because everybody's saying God, 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 Jesus, Jesus, all anything masculine, yeah, we're down with it. You know, it's Muhammad, it's Buddha, it's whichever man. It's never divine masculine and divine feminine. It's never the alpha and the omega. You know? And that is where the problem with duality comes in. And that is the reason why the balance has to happen. Both of them have to be in their own power. So when they come together, you know, none is overpowering the other. It's a divine oneness. And in that, it seeds love. You know, and that's what's wrong with our planet. So to me, it's so simple. It's so simple. There is not a feminine deity, which the source is feminine. You know, source is feminine. Source is the womb. Source is the creator. But somehow her divine masculine decided he wanted everything for himself. You know, so now we would have a problem. And she has been beaten down so far that nobody even remembers her. Nobody even worships her. We'll talk about her, but every day God is getting his props. Everybody's calling his name every day, all by mistake. Oh God, oh my God, oh, Nobody calls on her. So we have a battle and a war.
A big imbalance.
Yes, and because of the imbalance, other entities coming in the house, coming on the earth, and is even plundering and you know, and wreaking havoc on their children. On their children. You know? But they're not of one accord.
Not of one.
You know, so everybody suffers. It's what we have now in the home of families. You know, the father is not there. He wants to be some, you know, master ego person, you know, and she is left to suffer and deal with the kids and work and come home and cook and run and buy the food and and then he will still come and, you know, insert himself to get energy, which, you know, always pushing her down further. And, you know, then children suffering, she's suffering, he's suffering too, but he don't even know it. He's so full in his ego, he doesn't know it, you know, because that love, you know, when that each person is balanced and that love comes together, you know, it's nothing like it. It changes the whole dynamics.
Love is the whole thing.
Yes.
I think that was the blessed uprising I did.
Everything,
Love is the whole thing.
Yes. Everything becomes wholesome. The children become wholesome, you know? So, and when you're talking about big entities like that, you know, it's very difficult for us who are the microcosm of this big macro energy.
The lower tier people.
Yes. You know?
Lower levels.
Right. We, you know, and we too understand it within ourselves that we need to accomplish that also.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But everything on earth is trying its endeavor, its best
to keep that from
happening.
My God.
You know? So
every day, all day.
That's the
even between mother and child, mother and child, man, woman.
Yeah. And if you look at all movies, I don't care what movie, the movie could be Japanese, Chinese, African, wherever this Bolly and Dollywood, whatever the movie is always about, a male and a female. It might start off with just a male, but he's gonna meet a female. It might start off with just a female, but she's gonna meet a male.
Right.
Because
at the end of the day, what else?
What else is there?
What else is there to do?
What can you create?
What can you do
by yourself?
You need the other half.
You need the other half to create.
The other half.
In every instance. You know, when a woman is by herself raising a child, she can't create properly. She can't do like she needs to do. So it's chaos, no creation, you know? So it's like at the end of the day...
And if there is creation, something will suffer. Because
something has to give.
You got to sacrifice something.
And 9 out of 10 times it's the kids.
It's the children.
You know?
Yeah.
So then we end that cycle. So that's the love aspect and the male and the female, you know, in the whole cosmology of things. As above, so below. You know? So this is just where we are, and right now the love has to be from, you know, from the heart. Whether you do have a partner or not, love is still the answer. That's why he said there, you said we need to give energy all the time, share energy. Right.
No matter
that
what.
love, no matter what, we need to just love, because that's the only thing that would change this suffering planet that we're on. Because, you know, ain't nothing but suffering. And we kind of happy in it to some degree, not understanding that we're suffering and we're not supposed to be living like this. You know, 12 hours of work every day.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You know? And not even 3 days in the week. Whole 6 and 7 days in the week.
Right.
Five if you're lucky.
5 if you're lucky. If you got a good job.
Yes. You know? So.
If you got a good job.
Yeah. So that's it.
Yes, love is the whole thing.
It is.
It's the whole thing.
Is.
We are only pieces. We are only pieces. That was the blessed uprising.
Oh.
Love is the whole thing. We are only pieces.
We are only pieces that has to come together to make that love whole and strong. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I just thought, and I just thought how not crazy or funny, but it was just amazing that when she was like just saying those things in reference to a man and a male-female relationship, you know, when it's time for whoever's the strongest at the time lead, no competition. I was like,
and that's in every aspect of their life.
You know what I'm saying? Not that, you know, I mean, 2006 was a long time ago in reference to today, but
I can cook better than you. Get out the kitchen, move, go do something else.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm not coming to get up under the car with you. That's where yours.
That's what you do.
You do that.
Right.
I'll do this,
Right.
and
I'll do
everything
that.
will be
I'll
all
do
right.
that.
How about
Yeah.
that? You know. You know. It's so hard now. It's like, well.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's like you know, the traditional roles. You know,
that nobody wants to play. Nobody wants them roles, boy. So I don't know who's gonna do it.
I don't know who's gonna do it.
I don't know who's gonna do it.
You'd be hard pressed to get a woman in. I'm gonna say a young woman,
kitchen.
a young girl,
Yeah, in that kitchen.
You know, for the most part.
Yes.
To cook, and hard pressed to find a young man that know how to change a tire. You know. Even care to know how to change the daggone tire. It's like,
yes. Yeah.
I need you to go and get that together, cause
And because of all of that, nobody wants to take on a role. Nobody wants to be responsible.
Because that's responsibility. That's responsibility.
Yes, nobody wants to be responsible. You know? So, and that's why I'm saying, it seems like, you know, everybody's talking about spirituality, but that's one of the main things. Responsibility, relationships. I laid it out in the Blessed Uprising, right? Somebody got to be responsible. And when you're responsible really for your unit, your little unit, you are being responsible to the whole world.
Yep. Yes.
That you're doing that for the whole world. So everybody else is selfish. They don't want to cook for nobody. They don't want to. I can't.
Can't do it.
No, I can't, you know. And sometimes when you feel like, you know, wow, these are the people we got to depend on 30 years from now, 20 years from now. These are the people that's going to be. I can't say doing things, doing nothing. They got it already lined up for them to do nothing.
Do nothing.
You know, and people quite happy with it.
Their willpower is gone.
No will. No will, no love, no mind, you know. Don't even say awareness, because not conscious. Yes. So
See why we went down here.
so that was 8.
That was number 8. So now we're on the last insight.
Okay.
Insight 9. So the guidance within evolves the world towards a heaven that is already here. To know this is to know our destiny. I can't remember who said it. Did Will say it?
Will wrote it down so John could read it on a magazine, on a something when he was on the plane. No, it was said before.
No, that was Insight 10. So at Insight 9, Insight 9, they left the cottage.
Oh yeah.
John, Marjorie, even the little girl. Okay, John, Sarah, Marjorie, Priest. They got in some old Chevelle and start driving. And so, trying to remember if John went and defeated Pedro prior.
I'm not sure, but I know he came either with some other type of militia men. They were at the I want to say the dig, but it's that temple that old. They were there.
Yes.
And I think they wanted the little girl too or something. I'm not sure. But
so
there was a fight right there where they had to form a circle and keep their energies high, their frequency high.
Right.
So they could protect themselves.
Right. So okay, yes. So they made it to Venetia. I can't remember how they pronounce it. And so, but Ma, on the ground in the circle that they stepped in, it was
we call it Fibonacci sequence, but it's kind of it's that, and it's not really. That's not the true name. That's the feminine signature right there. That circle.
That spiral.
Yes,
spiral. That's what was on the ground. That was the circle that they stepped into. I noticed that when I seen it. I was
like, you see. Then you get to see symbology.
So
right.
So they came. So the priest, the priest, John, and
Will. Sarah.
I think it was Sarah. Sarah came and they all came in the circle. But before while they was at the cottage, before they left, Marjorie was reading something and she deciphered that the 9th scroll, because it was all the insights were on scrolls, and they had 8, and they were looking for the 9th one. She said that the 9th one would appear. You know what I'm saying? It's not on a scroll, it would appear. So then when the priest was in the circle, Sarah was in the circle, when John came in the circle, then white light, the daggone 9th insight, it appeared. So John was like the one, like Neo. John was the one. And so and then Sarah was able to decipher it. John was the one that made it appear. Sarah was able to read it. That's like daggone Neo and Trinity in the last Matrix Revolution.
Yeah.
No, not Revolution, whatever the last one was.
That was, yes.
That's my joint. Anyway, so when she read it, the guidance within evolves the world towards a heaven that is already here. To know this is to know our destiny. So light was shining bright. But just so happens that as they, right after she finished, the militia pulled up. And so, but their light was so bright. Again,
they couldn't see.
They was walking by. It was like they wasn't there. But I don't know what made them break it. And Will was trying to tell them, no, stay focused. They won't see you. But anyway, they broke focus and then they got captured. And they got taken off. But so they was in that light for a long time though. I think they spirit guides came out and was that then? Yeah, I think.
And helping them. Were they losing energy, giving out that much energy for so long?
No, they didn't lose energy. They just broke.
Somebody got distracted.
Yeah.
And broke the circle.
Right. So that was okay. So let me see where I was going with insight number 9.
You're done with 8.
Right, that was insight 9. The guidance within evolves the world towards a heaven that is already here. To know this is to know our destiny.
So you could break that down?
Say again, Mom.
You could unpack number 8.
Number 9.
Number 9, I mean.
Are you asking me to, or you just?
I'm saying if you get what they're saying about number 9.
Let me flip and see what I wrote. No, I have wrote something else because, and I can't remember what point it is. At one point, the priest went to His Excellency, which was the highest priest. And throughout the whole movie, he was kind of wishy-washy about the whole prophecy thing. He knew about it, but then he didn't want the word to get out because that's what Miguel and everybody in that community wanted to do. They wanted the prophecy to be found and given to the people. Given to the people. And so that priest, he didn't want to Because to me, it seemed like he was going to be out of a job. You know what I'm saying? It was like, because he said, he was telling His Excellency, because that's what they was calling him in the movie, he made reference that the prophecy can make all the religions come alive and evolve. And from what I, basically get people unstuck and allow them to ascend and see the more that needs to be seen if the prophecy gets
revealed. But there's revelation.
But the high, this excellency, he was like, no. He said, no. Well, I was about to read. This is what Pedro said to. Pedro had said. So I think this was happening at the same time. Pedro was with. John was with Pedro. And the two priests was having this conversation about letting the prophecy get out. And His Excellency was like, no, no, I'm not quite trying to hear that. I don't want to. So he was just like, man, I can't believe that. And so John had to face Pedro again, because once their light broke and the rebels saw them, they got captured again. And he was going to, and Pedro was going to blow up the little city where the 8 scrolls was at, this, that, and the other. So, he comes face to face with Pedro again, because remember back in early, he said, you're going to have to face him, because, right. So, and him and Pedro, and, he's trying to speak logically to Pedro about, okay, what good the scrolls will be for the people, this, that, and the other. And Pedro's like, no, humans are in control. The God experience is false security. It's an illusion. It threatens everything that man has built. You know what I'm saying? Threatens everything. It undermines everything. He called everybody naive, think that there was something spiritual guiding the world. So this is what Pedro is saying to John, and John is like, you know what? I can't let you do that. And then Pedro's like, you're not going to be able to stop me. So, inside again, Pedro had the knife, and, he tried to stab John, and, he moved, and So they had their little tussle, and he beats Pedro at the end. So all that was happening in Insight, around Insight 9. That end part was,
and that little part that was played out there, to me is very important.
Which one?
The fact that what Pedro came to do. Pedro is like that energy that is running rampant here right now.
Yes.
Don't want anybody to wake up.
Yes.
Wants to continue to rule and all of that. So that's that Pedro energy then, huh? Yeah. So, and it's very important, and that people can see that, and it says it in the 9th Insight. If you read it again,
the guidance within evolves the world towards a heaven that is already here.
Right.
To know this is to know our destiny.
So is our destiny. Pedro is trying to stop.
Yes.
Right. But we got work to do, because we can make it happen. That's what that's saying there.
Yeah.
That we can make it happen if we begin to know, understand. And there's a car just went by.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Then we have control over that.
Individually, you know what I'm saying?
And individually.
Because
it's just
been together.
Yes, because really we are all one entity, one source, one. And as long as we become who we're supposed to be, because if you became that way, we will all have the same thoughts. Whatever you're thinking, I'm thinking. Because when I know to do something, you know it too. This was where we going left? Everybody knows left. You ain't got to hear, hey, we're going left. No, everybody knows because we're tapped into that one source. So this way, by that amount of energy, if you look at what they did on that small scale, can you imagine if all and most of, even most, more than half, we want 55% of humanity to boss up, man up, and get that energy and stop some of this
madness.
Madness. I was
Stop these Pedros.
I was going to use a different word, but
Stop these Pedros.
you know, we're not without power.
Right.
And that's what we need to know. And that is why it's important for us to have the experiences. Because if you don't have the experience of the spirit and the experience of the power, John got all that experience.
You can't be Neo.
Yes, and Neo had to have the experience too in order for him to know, wait a minute, I could jump out the window and not fall. I could fly, wait a minute, you know? But if you don't step towards that, look, we're sucked. Everything.
Done deal.
It's a done deal. But then you see, there's a way out for some. But then again, you know, you want to go with no man left behind.
Right.
You know?
Right.
How about that?
Right.
How about if we do that?
Right. Because it might actually be your mommy got to roll out and leave. You know what I'm saying? Nobody want to do that.
Right.
Nobody wants to do that.
So that's that ninth insight. Right there is letting you know your power, letting you know that we got that power to overcome all of what's happening right now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. So that was the 9 insights.
That's the 9.
Yeah. And so then, like, when the movie goes off, you know, the 9 insights, you know, roll through the screen again. I was like,
yes.
Awesome.
I'm telling you, yeah, I know. When I read the book, I was just too through. You know, I was ready to say, let's do this then. You know, like, hey, are you here? Do you know?
Ready.
We're ready, you know? But the world was going on about its own business. You know, it wasn't even, you know, when you talk to people that, they don't know what you're talking about, first of all. And even if they did see the movie, they didn't get it like that.
Right.
You know?
Right.
They didn't get it like that. And some people didn't think it was much of anything.
Right.
You know?
It was like, okay.
Yes.
Next. Ma, okay, so one last thing. And it wasn't about the movie. So yesterday when we was watching the podcast, the lady said something, and I wrote it down, and I was like, oh my goodness. Excuse me. She said, she was talking about source. She said, tap into source. And I don't know if she said this like right after she said that, but the next thing I wrote down, she said, source doesn't bring judgment. Source brings consequences.
Consequences.
I was like,
There's no judgment.
There's no judgment.
That's the word song that's going around, right? No judgment, no duality. You know, where there is duality, then there is judgment. You know, so you know, that's what I'm saying. Then we got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of shadow work, they call it. We got to clean out our minds from those thoughts. And of course, there is consequences. If you
because of
decide,
what you done.
Yes.
What you done.
Or
whatever
needs
you do.
to do.
Or need to do.
And don't want to see it and don't want to do it. Don't want to hear it. And the consequences will be that you will remain here in it. that would be a consequence. You know? So because, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you didn't do it. Next.
Yes. You would be here in this 3D, and I think it'll be a little madhouse. A big madhouse.
We know.
You know? And you know, in this revelation time that we're in here, nobody is scared. That's another thing. They're not scared of the things that, and it's not fear, but you have to be, you have to respect. Then, if not scared, you have to respect that consequences that's going to come to you, because you're going to feel it. You are going to feel it. There's no getting away from it. There's no ifs, ands, nor buts. And you know that, and you don't care. So it's okay then. Take it.
No, not a problem.
It's like, take that. Take that. Take it, and then, you know, in that sense, then nobody's going to worry about you either.
Right. Nobody's going to worry about you.
You know, who's doing their part, then, you know, then that would be it. You know, and because we are all in the same world together, you know, and I'm telling you, Source made it so that people don't have no excuse.
Yeah.
None.
Yeah.
Every time you flip your phone, somebody talking about something
Especially
conscious.
today.
You know,
Especially
get on the
today.
phone. Right. The movies are doing it. You're
Everybody
getting
on
help
TikTok,
everywhere you turn.
Instagram,
TikTok,
YouTube,
everybody.
Facebook,
Yes,
Twitter.
it's on there.
It's like,
So what is the excuse now?
yeah.
Right.
I mean,
You can't walk up to God and say, oh, I didn't know. God might laugh just like I'm laughing. No, really? Well, since you didn't know, you're going to have to go right back so you would know.
Right.
And you would learn, and you will overstand.
How you know to come here then?
You know, and it's so not funny. You know what I mean? It's a serious matter.
Serious thing.
It's a serious matter because, you know, some people are just here to hold other people back also. And sometimes, you know,
Like that's their job.
that's
though.
their job.
So unfortunate.
So, you know, yeah. So honestly, that was a good movie. It was a great movie. And, man, you could get up on YouTube and get free astrology, free tarot readings, free everything. You know, come on now.
Right.
Somebody's going to read your life to you.
Read your life to you. Read what's going to happen.
Yes.
Hell, that could be your your step one. Like, you know what? Everything this lady's been saying, or man been saying. Hold up, let me go.
Yeah.
And
Man, yeah, she said this and she said that.
now you're on your way.
And you know, it seemed like she was just talking to me because everything she was saying was so true. God knocking on your door. That's how much the mother is knocking on the door to save her children. And the delinquent. Because we see the delinquency even with our own children. You know? We can't even get them to do, and some of them
It's
know.
hard.
It's hard, you know, but God in His mercy, mothers and Source in her mercy is going to find a way
Bring it all back.
they will be put in a place to where they will learn. I don't know if you know how that is going to transpire. You know, because is it that, you know, Earth is gonna split? How is that, you know, a fifth dimension place? How is that gonna transpire?
I don't know.
Right. Don't know. I don't know. So, this is it. So that was a good thing, yes.
That was a good thing.
Movie,
And
yes.
we hope you enjoyed our conversation
The breakdown
about the movie, the breakdown
of it,
the
yes.
Celestine
Prophecy.
You know, try to find it. Like I said, it was not on Amazon Prime. It was not on YouTube. You got to Seek a Squirrel app on your Amazon stick. You should be able to see it.
Yes.
You should be able to see it.
Yes. And look at it from a standpoint. And I think right now, so many people are so very conscious. That's the most beautiful thing that is happening on earth right now. People are conscious, they're waking up. But we still have to know we got to go further. We full joying and, you know, this consciousness, we bathing in all the information and whatever, but we can't stay there. We have
Don't
to
be stuck.
Don't be stuck in the information. The information is coming to you for a purpose. Find the purpose for the information, because
otherwise it's kind of useless.
yes, because in my book, I see that as a tree. Right? The branches on the tree is the knowledge, is the information. All of that, or anything you need to know is on that tree. You could go from branch to branch. Every religion have a branch in the tree. Yes, but there is no fruitation in the branches.
Right.
Where is the fruits? Then the tree has something else on it for you to get,
Right.
for you to go to, for you to aspire to. So you have to leave the knowledge behind. And one thing, when you realize it's about the fruits and the fruits of the Spirit, do you know, you tend to forget all of yes, you forget all of the knowledge. The same with the platform that you came in on, you don't even think about that anymore. You forget it because you have bigger fish to fry, bigger things to look at, bigger things to do. So you have to grow. Your inner child has to become matured because there is bigger work for you to do. So the tree, the fruits, go pick the fruits. Taste the fruit. Want the fruit. The blessing on the tree is the fruit. You can't do nothing with a tree that don't give fruits. You know, it doesn't give life. It doesn't save. The fruits on the tree could save your life. So that's what you are going for, your life, to save your life. So that's the message today. You got to save yourself. You got to save your own life. That's just what it is. So give thanks.
And on that note, we'd like to wish our family, community, tribe, blessed uprising. We wish you love, peace, joy, and abundance. Now go and conquer your day. Blessed love.
Blessed love.